In the quiet countryside of Scotland, a golden retriever named Rio gave birth to a litter that would captivate her owner, Louise Sutherland, and spark wonder far beyond their cozy home. Among the 9 puppies born that day was one so rare that only 3 others like it were known to have existed in recorded history. A pup tinted an astonishing mossy green. This is the story of Rio's remarkable second litter, a testament to love, resilience, and the surprises nature can deliver. Rio had always been the apple of Louise's eye. A 3-year-old golden retriever with a gleaming coat and a gentle spirit, she was more than a pet. She was family. Louise, a 43-year-old dog enthusiast, doted on Rio endlessly, captivated by her loyalty and grace. Rio's first litter 2 years prior had been a modest success. 5 healthy pups, 2 girls and 3 boys, born after a straightforward 5-hour labor. Rio had taken to motherhood with ease, nurturing her brood with a calm devotion that left Louise beaming with pride. But this second pregnancy was different. It stretched longer and weighed heavier on Rio, hinting at something extraordinary to come. Early in the pregnancy, a sonar scan at the vet's office revealed the news. Rio was carrying 9 puppies. Louise marveled at the screen, counting 9 tiny heartbeats flickering like stars. For a golden retriever, litters typically ranged from 4 to 12, but 9 was a robust number, and Louise couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and concern. The vet cautioned her to keep Rio rested and supported, emphasizing that the birth would demand extra care. Louise, ever the dutiful owner, spared no expense. Veterinary checkups, premium food, and a quiet space for Rio to nest became her priorities. She was determined to see her beloved companion through this challenge. As the due date approached, exactly 63 days after conception, Rio grew restless, searching for the perfect spot to welcome her pups. Louise prepared a large crate in their home, lining it with soft blankets and pillows, big enough for both Rio and herself to fit comfortably. She wanted to be by Rio's side for every moment of the labor, ready to assist. Armed with a mucus sucker, bottles of water, gloves, towels, paper tissues, and 9 puppy-sized collars in vibrant colors, Louise settled in. The collars, each a different hue, would help her track the order of birth, a detail she knew would matter in the days ahead. The labor began on a crisp February morning in 2025, just as the first light crept through the windows. Rio settled into the crate, her breathing steady but determined. Louise stayed close, her heart pounding with anticipation. The first pup arrived after a tense struggle. Its tiny body seemed lodged, refusing to budge. Panic flickered in Louise's chest, but she called for her daughter, Claire, a 25-year-old with a steady hand and a shared love for Rio. Together, they worked gently to free the pup, pulling it into the world with a collective sigh of relief. A healthy boy, golden and wriggling, he was soon nestled against Rio's side, cleaned and fitted with a red collar. The next 3 pups followed smoothly, 2 more boys and a girl, each adorned with collars of blue, yellow, and pink. Rio licked them clean, her maternal instincts unwavering even as the labor stretched on. But then, midway through, she paused, her body still for nearly 15 minutes. Louise watched anxiously, wondering if something was wrong. Just as she reached for her phone to call the vet, Rio stirred again, and the 5th pup arrived in a rush, so fast it seemed eager to meet the world. Louise and Claire gasped in unison. This pup wasn't like the others. At the same size and weight as its siblings, with the same soft fur and button nose, it was nonetheless extraordinary. Its coat shimmered a peculiar mossy green, like the forest floor after rain. Louise blinked, certain her eyes were playing tricks. "Claire, do you see this?" she whispered. Claire nodded, wide-eyed. "He's green." They named him Forest, a fitting tribute to his unusual hue. The remaining 4 pups, 3 boys and 1 more girl, arrived over the next few hours, each a classic golden shade, wearing collars of purple, orange, green, a lighter shade for distinction, and white. By the end, Rio had delivered 9 puppies in a marathon 32-hour labor, 6 boys and 3 girls. Exhausted but triumphant, she lay surrounded by her brood, their tiny bodies pressed against her for warmth. Louise weighed each pup meticulously, jotting down their birth weights in a notebook. Forrest, at 1.2 pounds, matched his siblings perfectly despite his striking color. She slipped the collars around their chubby necks, chuckling at how they resemble little sausages. Then she returned them to Rio, who cleaned them with tender care and guided them to nurse. For the first few weeks, the puppies would be blind and deaf, relying entirely on their mother for survival. Rio, in turn, leaned on Louise, who stayed vigilant through the long nights, ensuring her dog had food, water, and rest. But Forrest's green coat demanded an explanation. Louise called the vet the next day, her voice trembling with worry. "Is something wrong with him?" she asked. The vet, puzzled but intrigued, arrived to examine the litter. After some research, he offered a rare diagnosis. Forrest's coloring stemmed from biliverdin, a green bile pigment typically seen in healing bruises. During gestation, an unusually high concentration of biliverdin in Forrest's amniotic sac had stained his light fur. It wasn't harmful, just a quirk of nature. The vet assured Louise that the tint would fade over time, likely vanishing within weeks as Forrest grew. The revelation fascinated Louise. She scoured the internet and found only 3 other documented cases. A green chocolate Labrador pup named Fiona, born in Lancashire in 2024, 2 green spaniels from the same litter in Spain a few years earlier, and a green and black spotted Great Dane from a mixed litter. Forrest was the 4th, a living rarity. "What a fright I got," Louise later admitted, laughing. Even the vet hadn't seen it before. Rio, despite the grueling labor, recovered beautifully. After a thorough wash and plenty of rest, she resumed her role as supermom, tending to all 9 pups with unwavering patience. Louise and Claire, bleary-eyed but elated, cared for the family around the clock. "We were all shattered," Louise said, "but seeing Rio okay made it worth it." The puppies thrived, growing plump and playful, their personalities slowly emerging. Forrest, though still green, was otherwise normal, his muzzle, paws, and ears showing hints of gold, where the stain didn't take as strongly due to shorter fur. Word of the green pup spread quickly. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers reached out, eager to adopt one of Rio's miraculous litter. All 9 were spoken for within days, but Louise couldn't part with them all. "We're keeping one of the boys," she decided, "though we haven't chosen yet. We're waiting to see their personalities shine." She smiled at Forrest, whose curious eyes and bold waddle hinted at a spirited nature. "He's got a good chance, doesn't he?" Reflecting on the ordeal, Louise knew this would be Rio's last litter. The toll of 9 pups had been immense, and she couldn't bear to risk her dog's health again, no matter how sweet the outcome. Rio had given her more than she'd ever dreamed, a house full of golden fluff, and one unforgettable green surprise. As the puppies napped in a heap, Forrest nestled snugly in the middle, Louise felt a swell of gratitude. "They're all miracles," she said softly. "But Forrest, he's something special.